So, a short historic review. At 2003, there was a big reform. For some reason, because of the model Bar Rafael, it's called Milchan Law, but it's not Milchan Law. It's, there was given a 10-year exempt for international people who bring international foreign currency. And I had many lectures about it. You can see it in the playlist. You can see it going on and on. Okay. The reform was, 2003, 2004. You had to start reporting all your income from abroad in Israel. That was a big reform, saying that also your international income should be reported in Israel. Then came at 2008 the international reform, which says we're giving you an exempt. It's called the Milchan Law. Sorry for being, it's not... I don't live that, history as sharp as I used to. Because it's more a review of my, my life and my experience of seeing it, not going into the regulation on all the, small resolutions, which I do need, when or we need when we sit and do tax treaties. You really have to go into small resolutions, what's going on in Switzerland, what's going on, in England, and making sure, that you're abiding all the laws, the taxation laws. So, in 2004, you had to report in Israel your income from abroad. In 2008, you had exempt if you're a Jew coming to Israel and you haven't been here for such and such. I reviewed it such and such a time. You haven't been here. You come to Israel. You have an exempt. And then they never had a regulation of how we're going to report. You have an exempt and all that. How is it going to be reported to the foreign tax authorities? And the debate was a long debate. We're actually talking about at least, the computers in all around the world, also the bank computers and the anti-laundering regulation, they're all, not all around the world, but let's say in many European, American, and, advanced or, OCD and stuff like that. So they're all talking to one another. All the computers are talking to one another. More or less, okay? Not all the authorities. So, only in 2018, the regulation has passed. And therefore, you as my client or a potential client coming to to get advice, you see in your papers suddenly abroad, even if you're not not on the 50 million and whatever, you might get it also in Israel, because most of the people who come and do Aliyah are not significant, but you have the 5%, the 100%, or how is it called? You have many rich people who are, a lot of them are, you don't know if they're resident, not resident. Also, Israelis here that are, try to be nomads and live in. Anyway, I won't, do a name dropping of, very known people. But, so it started in 2018. We are 6 years later. What you will see, and what we do see, is that computers of in Switzerland or Germany or England, suddenly they have they don't understand. Did you report this as a pension? Was it reported? How was it reported? And they're not used to, also the Israeli law and what specific in the treaty was it's this. So the pop-ups now, because you have many pop-ups in Israel, but will just, they won't deal with it. It's like, it's a crisis mode with the computers. We're going on the big chunks. That's the in accountancy, and in also in when you want to enforce the law, if it's a real crime, or it's a big sum, and you think it's a big crime, you will go after that, not on a marginal pensioner. And that's why I want to also make people, or make my clients also feel relaxed, because some of them are completely hysterical. Am I, that pension of, my 100,000 shekels? Yeah, mister, relax. It's, you're in good hands, and you're also, you're abiding the law, and it was all, done. So, you have 30 years of just, everything is reported in a very, lawful way. If you're British, the double taxation and everything, and everything is fine. And I mean, I'll tell you from my experience, because a lot of British or Americans think, but I remember 2010 still, working as a, how do you say it? You don't have a word for it, but a tax advisor in a big firm, actually an international firm. It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. It became again international. It's all the time international, not international, but it's anyway. So they used to come, Georgians. I don't know where they came from, with just suitcases of money to buy equipment, and we were the department, and we were sitting. We were small, that was the skinny model, but we were sitting and just counting. And we didn't have machines, We were counting cash of, this equipment is going, and we were talking about bigger, I think they changed from being a restaurant to a different model of, and they just came and bought a lot of stock, a lot of equipment in cash, which is not, the cash law is you're not allowed to do it. So this regulation is coming forward now in Israel. You're starting to see it. And you actually see, I can see people getting phone calls from the bank, hello, lady, why are you withdrawing 10,000 shekels? They're just doing a checkout. Why are you withdrawing 10,000 shekels? I see that in 6 days, and she sits like that and she says, oh yeah, I have a constructor at home and he wants, but it's a process, and people have to, Israelis have to now think about it. Actually, a lot of them do, I was doing for a change, I was doing checking the computers, if they're, anyway, but now they have to, I made a lecture about it, about the Bitcoin and the chains and the laundering, it's just different. You have the regulation has become very, because there was they were laundering money. In America, you were having which I actually think it's good that the postal services is a kind of a bank in Israel. I actually think it's not bad at all. Because, many places can have deliveries of, actually live in it's rural area. And I can go with my bike and make sure, that I'll get people in Ramat Golan, we have people in the desert, very small places that have a postal service. And it